All right, senior meteorologist Janice Dean live in the Weather Center watching this all night throughout the morning today. What is the status of Florence and how has she changed overnight?
We're seeing what's called eye wall replacement cycles. So this is what's happening right now. This is what's happened overnight, Bill. And all that means is the storm is trying to strengthen. So it's going through some reorganization so that it can perhaps get stronger. And I would not put past the fact that we could see a Category 5 perhaps later on today or tomorrow. So the storm is still a Category 4. It's weakened a little bit because it is going through that eye wall replacement cycle. So the outer eye wall is taking over, the inner eye wall is collapsing, and it is potentially getting stronger. We do have this track still as a major hurricane, Category 4, really for the next several days. The problem here is we are expecting the storm to stall. So earlier on Fox and Friends, I was comparing this to perhaps North Carolina's version of Hurricane Harvey for southeast Texas. We potentially could see upwards of 3 to 4 feet of rain if this storm stalls out. And it looks like this cone, as it gets wider, doesn't quite know what to do with it. The steering mechanism will end. That high pressure in the Atlantic, the Bermuda High, which is steering it right now, gets weaker. It moves eastward, and there's nothing to really steer this storm. So that's why, even though we're going to be dealing with a major hurricane making landfall, potential foot of storm surge and heavy rain and the hurricane force winds and the tropical storm force winds, we're going to be dealing with perhaps days of rainfall. So this actually could be conservative, 12 to 20 inches and isolated amounts of over 2 feet, depending on where the storm comes ashore and where it stalls out. So that is my concern. And if we go back in history, the last time we had a Cat 4 was Hazel back in '54, and certainly we could top that. So a lot of us forecasters are saying this could be historic. This could be potentially the strongest hurricane that the East Coast has experienced in many, many years, perhaps decades.
Was it 24 hours ago the storm was moving about 7 miles an hour? And later in the day, that about doubled, about 13 miles an hour.
Right.
That could be significant because it all affects the timing.
Yes, but the problem is, Bill, is it has a steering mechanism right now. I mean, all the forecast models are fairly certain that this is going towards North Carolina. South Carolina needs to watch this. Virginia needs to watch this, but it stalls. Okay, so this is the Euro model. And it stalls and it just lingers. That's Monday. So South Carolina, even Georgia, Virginia, Delmarva needs to watch this because, Bill, the legacy from this, unfortunately, is going to be rainfall. Catastrophic, life-threatening, and inland. Of course, inland flooding is one of the biggest killers when it comes to weather.
Yeah, they had a hurricane there late 1990s. The name slips me for the moment, but it was headed for Jacksonville and took a northern turn and then stalled over the Carolinas.
Right.
And you remember the rivers that flooded for days and weeks after that, and that was something that no one, even yourself, could anticipate in the forecast at that point.
The other problem is we've been dealing with record rainfall this summer in these areas. You know, top 3, top 4. Summertime rainfall records. So the ground is saturated, cannot take any more rain. So, I mean, we are all nervous. This is epic. This is going to be life-threatening, and that's why you have to listen to your local officials. Listen to them. If they tell you to evacuate, please do so. We're going to be covering this, you know, long through the weekend.
Certainly. Thank you, Janice. Talk to you a bit later. Keep us posted, and we shall stay calm.